Hi again, everyone. So today we're going to talk about day 2, Scandinavia. Hopefully you've had a chance to finish day 1, the British Isles, and turn those in. Let me know if you have any questions with those. Today, same thing for Scandinavia. Once you open the assignment, you will see this video posted there eventually with these Scandinavian notes and then a copy of the PowerPoint if you need it to go back and refer to. Again, the notes are something that you can edit and type into as we go. There are vocabulary questions at the end as well as some reading questions. So please finish all of those and turn them into me this week. So our second region of Europe to talk about is Scandinavia. We talked about Scandinavia during our physical geography unit, but we're going to talk more about the people and the countries in here today. So Scandinavia includes Iceland, Norway, Sweden, Finland, and Denmark. Vocabulary for today, review would be the word industry and the term constitutional monarchy, which is a type of government that we talked about with the United Kingdom yesterday. Some new terms for today would be knowing the countries in Scandinavia, the word export, and the term hydroelectric power. So first, talking about Scandinavia, we need to talk about the climate. Scandinavia, as you can see right here, is really close to the North Pole. It's part of the Arctic Circle. We talked about this at the very beginning of the year, but the Arctic Circle is a line of latitude that runs at 66.5 degrees north. Land north of the Arctic Circle is considered to have a very cold climate. All of this white on this map here is what stays frozen as a part of the Arctic Ocean every year. And one thing to remember is that the sun is visible all day during the summer within the Arctic Circle. And so as you can see, Scandinavia is going to have a cold climate because of its proximity to the Arctic Circle. Scandinavia is a region of Northern Europe that includes the countries of Iceland, Norway, Sweden, Finland, and Denmark. The Scandinavian countries are mostly surrounded by water. They have the Atlantic Ocean to the west. The North Sea is right up by Denmark, and the Baltic Sea on this side. Remember, we talked about Scandinavia being a peninsula. All the countries have cooler climates, a similar history, and major fishing industries. The reason why they have fishing industries, obviously, is because look at the coastline of all these countries. They all border the ocean, and they all have large coastlines. The major religion in Scandinavia is Christianity. Again, yesterday we talked about the difference between Catholic and Protestant. Most of these countries are going to be in the Protestant side of Christianity. So here's a video about the Vikings from one of my favorite online historians, John Green, in his Crash Course videos. It's about 10 minutes long, so please watch this as a part of your notes today. There are a few questions in your notes about it, so you please watch the whole video. And it talks about the Vikings, who are the common denominator in Scandinavian history, and they settled the whole area, and the culture today is still influenced by the Vikings. So please watch this for this week. You can find that in the PowerPoint that I have put on there as well. You have to go into that PowerPoint, find this video, and click on it, and that way you can watch it. Moving on, Denmark. The country of Denmark is the smallest of the Scandinavian countries, but it has a large population. Because it's further south, the climate's a little bit better, and so more people tend to live there. Scandinavian's capital city is Copenhagen, which is the biggest city in Scandinavia. As you can see, it's on this island off the coast of Denmark right here. Denmark's government is a constitutional monarchy, just like the UK. This means that they have a monarch, which is a queen. At the moment, Queen Margaret II is the Queen of Denmark, and they also have a parliament, which are people that are elected to make their laws. Queen Margaret has ruled Denmark since 1972. Her family traces its ancestry all the way back to the first Viking kings of Denmark in the 1000s. So quite a long history there. Since Denmark is further south than its other Scandinavian neighbors, it has a milder climate and good soil for farming. The biggest industry in Denmark is manufacturing. Finland. Finland is a relatively young country. What I mean by this is that the territory where Finland is today used to be governed by other countries. It only gained independence in 1917. Before that, it was ruled by Denmark, Sweden, and Russia. As you can see, Sweden and Russia still border Finland, and we just learned that Denmark is a little further south. Finland lies within the Arctic Circle, so it has a cold climate, and it's not very good for farming. As you can see, the northern lights in this picture right here give a good example of what you can, in the Arctic Circle, you can see them because of the magnetics, the Earth's magnetic field that emits from the part of the pole. The major industries in Finland, even though they don't farm, they are a fairly well-off country. And their major industries are electronics, engineering, and forestry. Electronics and engineering are pretty high-paying industries, so a lot of Finns have a pretty good quality of life. Finland is also known for having one of the world's best education systems. They really invest in their children, and because of that, they have pretty high achieving population, like we said, with electronics and engineering. Iceland. Iceland is a volcanic island in the Atlantic Ocean, as we talked about a couple weeks ago. Iceland was settled by people from Norway and Denmark, starting with the Viking explorers in the 800s AD. Iceland was also ruled by Denmark until 1944. Iceland lies just south of the Arctic Circle, so it has a cool climate as well. The volcanic soil and the climate make farming difficult, and so Iceland's biggest industries are tourism and fishing. A lot of people visit Iceland because it's very beautiful and a good place to go vacation. Even though it's cold, it's still very lovely. Over 80% of Iceland's exports are based on the fishing industry. An export is a thing that's sold to another country. So in Iceland, they would fish and then export or sell that fish that they catch to other countries who would like to buy fish. So that's part of how they make their money. Norway. Norway is a mountainous country with a cold climate. Fishing is also a major industry along with hydroelectric power. The picture at the bottom shows a hydroelectric dam where electricity is produced by flowing water. And how you do this is you block a river, and then inside of these concrete pillars would be what's called turbines, and those things spin, and the flowing water spins the turbines and generates electricity that can be sold to people in cities all across Norway. We talked about last week fjords, and these are giant cuts in the earth and large canyons that are known all across Iceland. Or sorry, not Iceland, Norway. Norway's history is also connected to the Vikings, as we talked about earlier. Recently, though, Norway was owned by Sweden until it became independent in 1905. Norway is also a constitutional monarchy, which means they have a king or queen and also a parliament, just like Denmark and the UK. Sweden. Sweden has the largest population of all the Scandinavian countries. Its capital city is Stockholm, and that's shown in that second picture there. It's a very beautiful, clean city. Sweden's history is also connected to the Vikings, just like all these countries. Today, they have a constitutional monarchy like Denmark, Norway, and the UK. The southern part of Sweden has a milder climate, and this lets them grow food, and they also have a very large dairy industry, so milk and cheese and butter. Manufacturing, forestry, and mining are also important industries in Sweden. Okay, so at the end of your note sheet, go back through, complete the vocab table, answer the questions, and turn in this assignment on Classroom. Thanks everybody, have a good day.